Okay, so one thing we all keep saying in Africa is an emerging market. Globally, Africa is being seen as an emerging market, which sounds so interesting, which sounds so good, which sounds like an opportunity. However, here's where it gets interesting. You see, one question we're not really asking is a market for who? Because from my own perspective, one thing I see when African is being regarded as an emerging market is it's more like in reality is a trap. And here's why I say this. At a point in time, China and India were also regarded as an emerging market. But one thing they did was they grew to a point where they produce what they do. They were not just buying from the world, but they were actually exporting. They were selling back to the world. But one thing we do in Africa is quite different. We are getting to a point where we are just being better consumers rather than being producers. Because if you look at the African space, we have the people, we have the demand, we have we have everything it takes for us to be producers of all these things, but we are not producing. In Africa, what we do in regards to even agriculture is we produce we produce the raw commodities and we export them. And when we export them, we buy it back as finished produce. Check from cassava, from cocoa, we buy back chocolate. From cassava, we buy back industrial materials. From sesame seed to just name them, cashew and the rest. And that's one thing we also always do in Africa. Don't get me wrong, being an emerging market isn't a bad thing, yeah. But the question is, are we just being a vehicle in the system? Are we just being part of the system, or we are actually trying to own the system? Here is where we are missing it out in Africa. The issue is not being an emerging market. The issue is value creation. We are not really owning the value creation. We are not really owning the system. And even when these global investors comes into Africa to establish factories, establish industries and everything, we are being put at the lowest ladder of all these things. This is just fact. When you go and this cut across Africa as a whole, the problem is not being an emerging market, and the problem basically is not Africa. The problem basically is the position we try to own in the system, owning the position of just being a better consumers rather than being producers of what we are doing. Are we really producing? Are we really selling to the markets too? Or we're just buying, or we're just getting to the point where we're just being sold to? We're just a market where we're just being regarded as just consumers. And if we keep on being just consumers, we'll never get to a point where we will be self-sufficient. We'll never get to a point where we'll own the value. We'll own the value. And what Africa needs now is value creation. We need to own the system rather than just being part of the system, or being a vehicle for the system, or just being a market where we're just being sold to rather than buying from or selling to the market. So it should be an exchange, not just a one-sided thing. So think about this, and thank you for watching this video. See you on the next one.